Right now, as you are watching this, minus 38 degrees is being recorded in Saskatchewan. That is cold enough to freeze exposed skin in under 5 minutes. And here is the part that should concern every single Canadian watching this. That is not even the coldest number we are going to talk about today. Not even close. If you live anywhere in Canada right now, from British Columbia all the way to Newfoundland, you need to hear what is coming. Because a sudden stratospheric warming event is about to split the polar vortex wide open, and when that happens, the Arctic freezer door swings toward us, and it does not close for weeks. I am going to break down exactly when the worst cold hits your city, which highways are most dangerous right now, and the one thing you absolutely must do before Thursday. But stay with me until the 5-minute mark, because that is where I reveal the specific dates when this polar vortex collapse reaches its peak, and trust me, you are going to want to plan around those dates. Now, before we go city by city, let me give you the big picture that is driving everything. La Nina is fading. That sounds like good news, right? Wrong, because when La Nina steps aside, the polar vortex gets to run the show with zero pushback from the tropics. And right now, that polar vortex is wobbling, splitting, and dumping Arctic air straight into Canada like a broken freezer leaking cold into your kitchen. The 2025 to 2026 winter season is proving exactly what forecasters warned us about. Deep freezes, heavy snowfall, powerful storms running the table from December straight through February. This is classic Canadian winter on full blast. So, where do things stand right now on this Tuesday, February the 10th? Let me take you coast to coast, and I promise you some of these numbers are going to shock you. Let us start out west, because Vancouver, you actually caught a break today. Your daytime high is sitting around 9 degrees Celsius. Now, before anyone in Winnipeg throws something at their screen, let me put that in context. 9 degrees in February. That is warmer than some places in Canada will be in April. But here is the catch Vancouver does not want you to know about. February is one of the wettest months on the calendar out there. 242 millimeters of rain expected this month alone. That is 22 rainy days. 3 out of every 4 days, you are getting wet. Humidity is running 75 to 85%. So even though the temperature looks mild, that damp Pacific chill cuts right through your jacket, right through your layers, right through everything. And if you are heading up toward Whistler or the North Shore Mountains, snow is piling up fast at higher elevations. Highway conditions can change in minutes up there. Do not let Vancouver's mild numbers fool you. Victoria on Vancouver Island is seeing similar conditions. Highs around 5 to 7 degrees with light rain developing through the afternoon. But again, mild by Canadian standards does not mean comfortable. Keep that rain gear handy. Now here is where things get wild. Cross the Rockies into Alberta, and the temperature drops like a stone off a cliff. Calgary woke up to minus 21 degrees Celsius last night, ice fog blanketing the entire city. But here is the twist. Today's forecast actually calls for a high of 4 degrees. That is a 25-degree swing in less than 24 hours. Only Calgary can do that, and the reason is Chinook winds. Those warm, dry, downslope flows that roll off the Rockies and can send temperatures rocketing up by 20 degrees in just a few hours. When the Chinook blows, people are walking around in T-shirts. When it stops, you are back in the deep freeze. Calgary is meteorologically one of the most unpredictable cities on the planet, and this February, southern Alberta is looking at above normal snowfall with a real blizzard risk. If you are driving between Calgary and Edmonton or heading out toward Banff, whiteout conditions can develop without warning. Visibility drops to near zero. You cannot tell where the road ends and the sky begins. That is not an exaggeration. Speaking of Edmonton, are you ready for this number? Minus 27 degrees Celsius, recorded last night. Factor in wind chill and your body is feeling minus 35 to minus 40. At those levels, exposed skin can develop frostbite in 5 to 10 minutes. Environment Canada has frostbite warnings across the entire region. If you are stepping outside in Edmonton today, layers are not optional. Base layer, insulating layer, windproof shell. Cover your face, your fingers, your toes, your ears, your nose. These are the parts that freeze first, and they freeze fast. Now, do not skip ahead because the prairie numbers are about to get even more extreme, and I need you to drop a comment right now telling me which city or province you are watching from. I am going to be responding to comments with specific forecasts for your area, so make sure you let me know where you are. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. On February the 8th, the temperature at Diefenbaker International Airport hit minus 38 degrees Celsius. Northwest winds at 30 kilometers per hour, gusting to 41. Wind chill in life-threatening territory. Now the good news, and yes, in Saskatoon right now you take any good news you can get, Tuesday brings a reprieve. The daytime high is expected to reach 0 degrees, the freezing point of water. And after sitting at minus 38, 0 feels like a vacation. But do not be fooled. Overnight, temperatures slide right back down to minus 10, and the next cold snap is already building. This is just a pause, not the end. Regina is telling a similar story. Minus 34 degrees recorded on the morning of February the 9th. By midday, northwest winds pushed the temperature up to about 1 degree, but those winds were gusting to 50 kilometers per hour, making it feel far colder than the thermometer showed. Tuesday looks positive with sunny skies and a high near 1 degree. Take advantage of it. Get your outdoor errands done, because what is coming later this week is not going to be this gentle. And then there is Winnipeg, the city that has earned its nickname the hard way. Minus 30 degrees last night under clear skies. And here is what makes Winnipeg's cold so brutal. The city sits on dead flat terrain at the junction of two rivers with absolutely nothing. No hills, no mountains, no barriers of any kind to block Arctic air from rolling straight south. Cold air masses flood down from the Arctic to Winnipeg's doorstep without so much as a speed bump. Wind chill overnight may have dipped below minus 40. That is the temperature where Celsius and Fahrenheit actually meet. It is the kind of cold that makes your car tires go square overnight and freezes your eyelashes together if you blink too slowly. All right, now let us head into Ontario, and do not miss the next section, because if you live anywhere from Thunder Bay to the Greater Toronto area, what I am about to tell you directly affects your Tuesday morning. Thunder Bay. Minus 31 degrees last night. This city catches the full force of Arctic air combined with lake-effect snow off Lake Superior, the largest freshwater lake on Earth by surface area. Tuesday's highs are not expected to climb above minus 15 to minus 20. Lake-effect snow squalls can fire up anytime the wind blows across open water. If you are driving the Trans-Canada through this stretch, keep your gas tank full and your wits sharp. Now, Toronto, here is your situation, and it is messy. Periods of snow started overnight Monday and are carrying into Tuesday. Expected accumulation, 2 to 4 centimeters. Snow should taper off by early afternoon, then cloudy skies take over. Daytime high around 0. Wind chill making the morning feel like minus 10. But here is the important part for commuters. The subway should run on schedule, but surface routes, buses, and streetcars expect delays. The 401, the 400, the Don Valley Parkway, the Gardiner Expressway, all slippery in the early morning before salt trucks get ahead of it. Give yourself extra time, slow down, leave plenty of following distance. And if you still have not put on winter tires, today is the day you are going to wish you had. Over the weekend, Environment Canada had issued a yellow warning for extreme cold across the city of Toronto when wind chill values hit near minus 30. The worst of that cold blast has likely passed, but temperatures remain well below seasonal norms. Do not let your guard down. Ottawa, our nation's capital, is sitting under a thick blanket of white. Minus 12 degrees last night. Tuesday is high in the minus 5 to minus 8 range with scattered flurries. The Rideau Canal, the world's longest naturally frozen skating rink, is likely in prime condition, but wind chill will make it feel significantly colder than the number on the thermometer. Ottawa is one of the coldest national capitals anywhere in the world, and today it is living up to that reputation. Crossing into Quebec now, and here is your 5-minute promise delivered. Montreal is bracing for a snowy Tuesday with a daytime high of minus 8 degrees. Overnight, periods of snow with temperatures dropping to minus 10. Last night at Trudeau International Airport, the reading was minus 11.8 with a wind chill of minus 19. Over the weekend, temperatures had plunged to minus 19 with a wind chill near minus 27. Montreal averages more than 20 snowy days in February. Autoroute 20, Autoroute 40, and especially the Champlain Bridge connecting the island to the South Shore will need to be watched closely. City snow removal crews are deploying early, and those signature orange plows will be out in force. Clear your car off properly, yes, the roof too, and give the plows room to work. And now the polar vortex collapse I mentioned at the beginning, here is the critical timeline. The sudden stratospheric warming event is forecast to fully split the polar vortex by mid-February. That means the worst of the prolonged cold blasts will intensify starting around February the 15th and could persist through the end of the month and into early March. If you thought the cold we have already seen was bad, the next 2 to 3 weeks could be even more extreme. Mark those dates, plan around them, stock up now. Quebec City is running even colder than Montreal, sitting at -10 last night with February averages around -9 for highs and -15 for lows. 20 snowy days expected this month. But the Carnaval de Quebec is happening right around now, and if there is one city in Canada that proves you can have a good time at -10, it is Quebec City. Snow tubing, ice sculptures, the whole celebration. These people have mastered the art of not just surviving winter, but actually enjoying it. Out to the Atlantic provinces now. Halifax recorded -3 last night, noticeably milder than the rest of the country thanks to the warm Atlantic currents acting as a natural thermostat. But do not let that fool you. February is prime nor'easter season, and those massive storm systems can dump enormous amounts of heavy wet snow, freezing rain, and gale-force winds on the Maritimes with very little warning. Fredericton in New Brunswick hit -9 last night and is expecting to stay below zero with light snow. Charlottetown on Prince Edward Island recorded -4. And St. John, Newfoundland, the easternmost city in North America, actually recorded 0 degrees, the warmest reading among all eastern Canadian cities. But St. John makes up for mild temperatures with wind, snow, and unpredictability. In January 2020, a single blizzard dumped over 90 centimeters of snow on the city, 90 centimeters, in one event. Newfoundland weather does not mess around. And finally, the far north. Whitehorse in the Yukon recorded -24 last night with only 9 to 10 hours of daylight at this time of year. Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories, -34. At that temperature, if you throw boiling water into the air, it freezes before it hits the ground. That is a real thing people do up there, but the danger is equally real. Extended exposure is genuinely life-threatening. And Iqaluit in Nunavut came in at -19 with light snow, actually warmer than Yellowknife and several prairie cities thanks to the moderating effect of Frobisher Bay. Now here are 5 things every Canadian needs to do today. First, layer up properly. Base layer, insulating layer, windproof outer shell. Cover your extremities. Watch for white or gray skin, numbness, and stinging pain. Those are frostbite warning signs. Get indoors immediately if you see them. Second, check road conditions before any long drive. Winter tires are not a suggestion, they are survival equipment. Keep an emergency kit in your vehicle, blankets, candles, jumper cables, food, water, flashlight. If you get stranded, stay with your car, it is your best shelter. Third, make sure your heating system is running properly. On nights below -20, let your taps drip slightly to prevent pipes from freezing. Fourth, check on your neighbors, especially seniors, young children, and anyone vulnerable. This is when being a good neighbor really matters. Fifth, stay informed. Bookmark the Environment Canada website and download the WeatherCan app. With an unstable polar vortex, conditions can shift within 24 to 48 hours. Now I need to hear from you. Drop a comment right now with your city or town. I am reading every single one, and I will respond with specific updates for your area as conditions change this week. And here is what is coming in the next video. That polar vortex split I have been talking about. By mid-February, we are going to see the full impact, and some models are showing temperatures that would break records in multiple provinces. I'm going to break down exactly which cities are in the crosshairs, which dates are most critical, and what you need to have ready before it hits. You do not want to miss that one. Make sure you are following so you see it the moment it drops. Stay warm out there, Canada. This winter is not done with us yet. But remember, there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. We have been doing this for generations, and we will get through this one too. See you in